stand up with an overhook, I can go back to rubber guard, right? So we're here. So when I go for this, I'm gonna fall towards my right side. As I do, my right hand is gonna come through and push his elbow out so that my knee can come through. So as I fall, I'm controlling that. This knee, my goal is to pinch his shoulder, right like this. This is the spot I want to get to, right? So I don't want you to be thinking about catching your foot yet. I want you to bring this knee right to the back of his shoulder to break his posture. Now it's easy for me to just catch my leg, and we get right to the beginning spot here of the rubber guard, right? So my other foot, once I get to this spot, if I'm beating his arm with my knee, I can just leave it here, and I can stay just like this, where what position we call teepee, with my heel and my knee connected. Right? So we're just gonna get to this spot to start with. All right, so let's come back up.
Is that TP?
TP, yep. So we're pyramid. Actually, yeah, pyramid. Scratch the TP. Right here, I got this overhook. Just like we do with the underhook from the bottom, I'm turning it over like I'm reading a wristwatch. The reason is when I do that, the only way he can pull his arm out is to go this direction, which allows me then to break him down. Right? So as I fall, again, my arm's coming through, I'm pushing his elbow out, so my knee beats his elbow, right? My knee comes to the back of his shoulder, and then I bring my foot up to connect, here, so that my heel and knee are connected, and then I'm gonna hug my own knee, right? I hug my knee to protect my knee. That way, if he tries to just explode up and get out, like I've got good control of him, right? So we're just gonna work on that beginning part. Make sense? And then we'll build off of that, right? Let's hit it. 3, 2, 1. 3 movements that are all gonna kind of happen at the same time is my arms coming inside and framing. I'm falling to my side and my knees going to his shoulder. All 3 of those happen simultaneously. So it's, right? So I just want you to work on getting all 3 of those. And then the next 2 moves is just here, right? So we got those 3 moves that come together at the beginning. So again, my arm's coming to the inside and framing, I'm falling to my side, and my knees going to his shoulder, all at the same time. And then we're here, right? So let's try to make it 2 moves instead of 6 or 7 or however many moves it is at the moment, right? Let's hit it. 3, 2, 1. So we're gonna add 2 little things. We're gonna add, I don't beat his elbow with my knee, and we're gonna add the first submission to this sequence, right? So as I start to go, and I go here and I try to get this, he's able to keep the elbow in front of the knee, right? So we're here. If I can't get my elbow inside the knee, then my right foot is gonna extend and staple, and then I'm gonna connect, right? So now I'm stapling his far leg, to control him here. Because if I just leave it here where I'm not doing anything, all he has to do is get his leg on top, and he can start passing my guard, right? But when I staple, now when he tries to get through to make that pass, it becomes pretty hard to do.
Okay. So that leg is really heavy on
I'm
his leg.
stapling, just extending that leg, right? And I'm here. So, so once I get to this spot and I'm on my side and I've done all of this, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna straighten this leg and bring it over his head. Right? So this is why being on the side is important. Because if I'm flat on my back, like I can't bring my foot over his head for anything. Like I have to have that like Dylan.
Yeah, right.
Like, I can't put my foot behind my head, so that's not gonna work for me, right? But when I'm on my side, all I gotta do is straighten my leg and I can bring my foot around his head. Does that make sense? All right, so I wanna be here. And that's why driving into that shoulder, if I drive in properly, I'm in this position, right? And even if his elbow's beating my knee, I've got my staple on his leg, and I just curl this around and I put it to the mat, right? And I wanna either have his elbow or at least his wrist, here, and then I can come right here and we can finish this. Right? If I lose this, it's okay. I just have to staple hard with that right leg. It has to be fully extended if I don't have the wrist. This is the carny. This is the Hazlet. It's the only difference. Right?
So there's no difference.
So, yeah, so the Hazlet, I don't need the staple, you know, because I have the wrist and usually my knee will be on the inside. With the Carney, I'm stapling and I don't need the far arm. So, you know, they're really close to each other, but that's really the only difference is that control.
Which one do you like more?
So, it just depends on what I can get. The Hazlet's more control because I have the arm, the other arm as well. But a lot of times that means it's a little bit harder to get, right? You know, the nice thing with the Carney is like when I get here, like if I don't have this arm, I can lean back, which makes it even easier to clear.
Ah, okay.
Right? Whereas if I'm here, you know, then I can't lean back, so I have to be able to still do that. Make sense?
Yes.
So if I can do that and hang on to the arm, I'm good. But if I can't, you know, then I have to lean back to clear his head. Right? Sorry.
Good.
All right, so now we'll put this all, you know, together again. So I'm trying to do those three things at the same time. So I'm falling, pushing, landing. His elbow beats my knee though. So he brings that elbow over the top. So we're here. So I immediately have to staple. And I drive into that knee, clear his head, and we got the Hazlet or the Carney. Right?
What about that one?
It's getting close.
Yeah.
Right? Like if I get this far, it's pretty bad. You know, because his option now, you know, because he's got to beat that, and then he's got to try to come around and, you know, to come out of this, and then we sit up, and we're in this game.
Right.
Right?
What causes you to miss getting your knee in front of the elbow more? Not
Yeah. Right, so I know the game, so as he starts to make that fall, like I'm staying where I can control the knee.
Gotcha.
Right, so now he's got to switch to that staple. Right, so yep, yeah, and then go to your rubber guard. All right, keep this stapling. There you go. Yep, and then just clear the head.
So
Yep, so just
straighten it.
Yep, straighten it, bring it over the
yes,
head,
okay.
and there you go. All right. The big thing with rubber guard is it's all about breaking the posture and keeping the posture broken.
Right.
Right? So it's really getting that, you know, that tight control and working on that, you know, keeping them off balance, right? So, and that's the thing with the knee drive too, is as I push, that pushes his head away. So it creates the space for my foot to come over.
Right.
Right? If I'm light with that knee on the shoulder, then it's even harder to get my foot over because the space isn't there. Right? So that's why that drive with the knee is super important. And what you'll see is like Boogie, when he does it, he doesn't do it in two motions. It's just straight to the Carney. Like as he falls, that pressure is there and his foot comes over right away. So as he lands, he's already in the Carney. You know, so instead of making it two moves, you know, or three moves, he makes it one move. And just, and he's in. So let's play with that. So you're falling, they're beating the knee, so we staple, and then we're clearing the head, hitting the Carney or the Hazlet, right? Let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Spot. He'll usually try to do one of two things. He'll try to run away, or he'll try to drive in. Right? Those are usually the two big plays that everybody tries to make. So once I get here, I staple, I clear the head, right? He's either going to try to run away. If he does, we come out and we're in our omoplata game, right? Yeah, more than likely he's going to try to roll here. If you want to stop the roll, I just come through and grab here. Try to roll now. Oh, you won't be able to go anywhere.
It's not smart.
Right? All I've got to do is in order for him to roll, watch what he has to do with his head. See where his head went? If I don't let him do that with his head, how's he going to roll? Right? So I just come, just like I'm getting a seatbelt. Just over, under, connect. And now he can't roll. Make sense? Cool. Let's back it up a step. So, and we're here, right? If he drives into me, he puts himself in the go-go plata,
Damn. I think I'd rather get my arm broken.
Right? If, as he drives in, if I can't finish this, then I just load him up. I bring my knee to my chest, this foot comes out, and I kick him over. And I finish it from the mount. Alright? So, it's really the only two directions he can go once I clear his head. Alright? Posturing up isn't an option because I have so much control over his shoulder. So he either drives in or he runs away.
Posturing up actually made it worse.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right? So if he runs away, we switch off to that omoplata, get that seatbelt control so they can't roll, and finish the omoplata. Right? They drive back in, we go go-go plata, or we go go-go launch to the mounted go-go. Make sense? Let's try it. 3, 2, 1. So we're going to show a couple of things we can do based on what the response they give us, right? So I get to here, all right, and I've got my rubber guard started. I'm stapling the leg. We'll play with this version just to get in the habit of stapling here, right? So I'm here. So when I'm in this spot, he can try to posture up, but if I'm already here, he doesn't really have that. So again, his play is pretty much to run away or to drive in, you know, because I've eliminated his ability to just posture up. So in this case, if he tries to just run away from me, it's really, really hard for him to do because I've got everything stapled, right? So he's gonna figure out real quick that he can't go away. So he's gonna start trying to drive back into me. If he's successful, he can put me back on my back and then he can make it really hard for me to do things, right? So when I get him here and he starts trying to make that play to drive in, I'm gonna clear his head and frame. And now I re-grab.
Ice pick.
Yep. So now he can't drive in either. Right? So
You still have my leg.
and I still have his leg. Right? So
Oh, you can sweep me here.
So yeah, I can sweep, I can do a lot of things. All we're gonna do is go right back into what we were doing. I'm just gonna clear his head. And I've got go-go plata, right? When I hit this go-go and I come under and I grab my toes, the finish, like you think you wanna lift him, that's not the play. I just point my toes, right? That's the finish. I just, with my hand. If I go pull him in, then I'm gonna hit that go-go launch, right? I can also come under his arm here, and now I can kick him over and I have what's called the straight jacket, where I pull this in, and we get the tap there.
I like the little hand wave.
He's like, get that. He's like, oh, my arms.
It was like this.
Right.
Really like this. It was weird.
So let's do that.
That was funky.
Right, so we're here. I get to here, I connect. Right, he's trying to drive into me to try to flatten me out. Right, so I'm gonna replace this hand with this hand for a second, so I can come across and ice pick him. Just frame him away and re-grab my leg. Right?
So you're meat hooking and then ice picking.
Yep.
Okay.
When I go to pass my foot over his head, I'm gonna do what's called Kung Fu move. So I'm taking my elbow and I'm flaring it up, and then I'm pushing my foot under. So it's like this, right? So I'm here, I take it and I push it under, and it feeds under his neck, right? And we're back into here. I've got my go-go plata, or I can stuff it under the arm. I can even hit that straight jacket here, or I can launch him and finish it from the top.
Well, what's the straight jacket finish? You just pull it on the arm and
I'm pulling the
push him
arm, and that drives my leg into this side of his neck and his own arm into the other side of his neck.
Okay.
Right?
It's also a double shoulder crank.
Right? So, so there's a couple options there that are very similar to what we were already doing. So it shouldn't be that much of a divergence, right? So we'll play with that. So we're getting to Jersey. And then they start to drive in. We go meat hook, ice pick, chill dog, which is when I re-grab the leg, Kung Fu move, and then you've got go-go plata, and you've got the straight jacket, lost it. So, and you have those two options, right? Cool. Let's hit it. 3, 2, 1.